Hello, and welcome to today's lesson on background radiation. Today, we'll start by defining what background radiation is and why it's important to be aware of it. Next, we'll discuss the natural and man-made sources of background radiation. Finally, we'll examine how factors like occupation and location can influence a person's exposure to background radiation. By the end of this lesson, you'll have a solid understanding of what background radiation is, where it comes from, and how it can affect us. Let's get started. Background radiation is the constant low-level radiation that we are exposed to every day, simply by living on Earth. This radiation is all around us. It's in the air we breathe, the ground we walk on, and even the food we eat. While the term radiation might sound alarming, it's important to remember that background radiation is natural and has always been present in our environment. Background radiation comes from both natural and man-made sources. Let's break down these sources, starting with natural ones. The largest contributor to background radiation is radon gas, which makes up about half of the total. Radon is a radioactive gas that is released from rocks, soil, and certain building materials. It can accumulate in buildings, especially in areas with poor ventilation, leading to increased exposure. Another natural source is cosmic rays, which account for a smaller portion of background radiation. These high-energy particles come from outer space and interact with the Earth's atmosphere, creating radiation that reaches us on the ground. Radiation from the ground and building materials also contributes to background radiation. Certain rocks, like granite, contain small amounts of radioactive elements that emit radiation. Man-made sources also contribute to background radiation. These include fallout from nuclear weapons testing. Past nuclear weapons tests have released radioactive materials into the environment, which continue to contribute to background radiation today. Furthermore, events like the Chernobyl disaster and the Fukushima incident have released significant amounts of radiation into the environment, which can contribute to background radiation levels, especially in affected areas. Certain medical treatments and diagnostic tools, like X-rays and radiation therapy, expose people to radiation, adding to the overall background levels. The level of background radiation you're exposed to can vary depending on several factors, including your location and occupation. People living in areas with high levels of radon gas or in regions at higher altitudes where cosmic rays are more intense will generally be exposed to higher levels of background radiation. For example, someone living in a granite-rich area might be exposed to more radon gas. Certain jobs expose individuals to higher levels of radiation. For example, airline pilots and flight attendants experience higher doses of cosmic radiation due to their frequent high-altitude flights. Workers in the nuclear industry or in medical fields using radiation also have higher exposure levels. Understanding these factors is crucial for managing and minimizing unnecessary exposure to radiation. In today's lesson, we explored the concept of background radiation, identified its natural and man-made sources, and examined how factors like location and occupation can influence radiation levels. By understanding background radiation, we can better take appropriate measures to protect ourselves when necessary.